cell with no windows, but it's where I spend my time when I'm here. And my door was open, and there was a coach just down the hall within earshot, and all I heard her say was, "Tell me more." And I was like, that's coaching, like just inquiring, asking curious questions, getting to know people really well. And when they stop talking, just say, "Tell me more, explain some more about that." And so it's a little snippet of what coaching is like to get us started. So. And it caught me so much that I actually wrote it down so I wouldn't forget to say it.
Nice to see everyone on here.
Yeah.
And if anyone hasn't seen, is everyone aware there is something in the chat? Being a coach is in 1 to 3 words. If anyone wants to put their thoughts into the chat, please do, because we're going to collect them and share them. I wasn't nervous until I saw everybody signing in, and all of a sudden my little heart rate has gone up. Oh my gosh, there's people from everywhere. This is awesome.
I had the opposite, Karen. My heart rate went down a little bit.
Did it? Okay, that's why it was such a good partnership.
I'm looking at all the knowledge that we have across, like we're on to 4 screens now. Like there's so many knowledgeable people with lots of insight and lots of experience, which makes our job easier.
Well, that is the truth, right? That's really why we're doing this, is the collective wisdom. Tap into the collective wisdom, right? But yeah, I'm not an operator of computers, especially when I'm focused on a conversation. So I'm going to be very hands-off and not be looking at different screens. I'm going to be looking at faces.
Hey, it's time, guys, when you're ready.
All right.
Yeah, just looking at that. It's 1:30, time to go. So, you ready, Karen?
I'm ready.
Want me to
Are
start
you
it off?
launching us? Yeah. Yeah,
Sure.
go for it.
And I think we first just want to start with an introduction. We're not going to go through every room and have everyone introduce themselves, so that would take all of our time. But some of you may have not have met myself or Karen, so just wanted to quickly introduce myself. My name is Jamie Kern. I'm our Director of Culture, People, and Services. So I help support all of our Connect community locations from Hamilton all the way out to our newest location in Saanich, and we have Lake Country and Langley in between there. So I'll be around from time to time. And I don't, unfortunately can't see you all, but yeah, that's my role here. I provide some support to our leaders, our site leaders, as well as some of the support access and transition leaders and some of the central resource team.
Yeah, and I'm Karen, and my role is Director Life Redesign and leading practice in life redesign. Get it right, the right way around. So it's really about supporting you in the work that you do every day. And a bit like Jamie, I also work across all Connect locations, and I'm also supporting the operations at Connect Partners there in a slightly different way as well. So that's me. And, I want you to know that I've been an OT now for a lot of years. I'm going to say almost 40. So there you go. I'm fessing up. And for many of those years, I spent sitting at people's kitchen tables, people with complex disabilities, brain injury. And I think I've seen a lot of what you are now doing every day within the context of meeting people in their own homes as they try to figure out what their lives look like now. And, that work very much brought me to Connect as my place to be, if you will. So I'm super glad to be here with you all. And yeah, really keen to get this conversation started. But Jamie, we wanted to share a little bit about how this fits in, right?
Yeah, and I think you said it best. It's get the conversation started. So unlike most other sessions that you'll be a part of, like, this isn't intended to be a session. Just wanted to provide some context. It's really called Learning Together, and it's very intentional. The idea that we want to share in the wisdom of the room. We want to talk about coaching as a group, and we want to open it up to conversations. We have a chat going to ask questions there. You can also just raise your hand if you want to ask a question, or if you want, like, ideally, if you want to share a story. And when questions come in, like, we've asked you to ask some questions, but also take a peek at the chat. And if you have something to say about some of those questions, feel free to say it. Again, this is about us all having an open forum and learning together, not about us presenting a bunch of slides on coaching. We'll have some information to share after the forum is over, but right now we just want to have that open conversation, and it really sets us up for the next year. We're going to do these Learning Together sessions once a month now for the remainder of the year. There'll be a couple of other ones on coaching. We'll have other site leaders volunteered or be politely asked to participate and share some stuff if they want to. But having that open conversation, and yeah, that's kind of what we're looking to do, is really open up this conversation across all of our locations so we can bring everyone together and everyone can learn from all the great things that are happening throughout Connect communities and Connect partners.
All right, cool. Well, I am actually looking at the chat right now, and one of the things, so maybe we launch off with just a few of the comments people have made around being a coach is. I'm sure you're all seeing this, but bringing the best in others, inspiring others, being curious, present, a listener, helping people reach their potential, rewarding, working together, continuous development and growth, and sharing knowledge, asking powerful questions, consistency. That's an interesting one. Collaboration. Lots and lots of good thoughts here. Other people out there, you're doing this work every day. Is there anyone out there willing to say a little bit about being a coach and how maybe that's different to perhaps doing previous work that you've had?
I was just gonna ask Joe to talk, but he just walked away. Do you want to share a little something, Joe, about since Joe came recently in June?
Hey everyone, Joe here.
Joe.
This has been the most rewarding experience. I used to be a corporate technician. I used to deal with people every day that were happy to see me because I would fix their computers. But now when I come to work, when I walk in, people are actually happy to see me because I'm actually really helping them. That's a big deal for me. This is why I tried to switch into this lane, I guess you would call it. This position has been life-changing for me personally. I get emotional about it. This has been such a turnaround in my life, as far as I was sick and I saw how people were actually being treated in like a healthcare environment, and there's just so much room for improvement. And I just feel like the group of people that I've met since coming into Connect are so genuinely validating my reason to actually get involved that it's amazing, to be honest. I've never met a group of people that have been so willing to step outside of the norm to help people. I'm speechless when it comes to the environment that I've walked into. Every day when I get up, as everybody, well, not everybody, everybody that I work with knows, I'm about an hour early for work every day because I look forward to going to work. It's a new challenge every day. And yeah, I don't know what else to say here other than you guys are amazing. This whole community is amazing, and it's just been excellent.
Just, I know a couple of people are Primrose is waiting to speak oh great, now I forgot your name and I shouldn't have even said. Who's sitting beside you, Primrose? Adam, thank you. I kept thinking Alex, because I saw Alex. But I was just gonna throw in there just before handing over to them that I think for Joe, it means never giving up on people. Like I really do. Like even when everyone says like it's giving up time, like never giving up on people and always finding hope. So I'm putting words in your mouth, but that's what I observe.
Yeah,
We love you, Joe.
thank you,
Thank you. Like I said, it's been amazing. Like every day that I get to work, it's helping somebody actually make a change that maybe they wouldn't have been able to without our help. So I can't say enough good things about everyone that I work with. It's been amazing. Awesome. Good job,
Oh,
everyone.
thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Prim,
So for me, I think previous experience, you come in as the expert and you are meant to be the one with all the answers, you know it all. People are not the drivers of their own stories anymore. You take it and you run with it. So coming here, it's like learning that people actually are the experts in their own lives, and we are just there to help guide. So they pull us in when they need us, and when they got it, we can step aside. And at the same time, they have room to actually coach us as well. And Adam has a cool story to actually share about how we also end up getting coached by the people we are supporting here.
Yeah, I'm changing my name to Alex, officially moving forward. We talk about coaches and us as coaches, but coaching is collaborative to me. And, I think of a story that happened last week. Everybody knows I'm a salad guy. I bring my salad to work every day, but this day I brought a can of soup. So I went into one of the homes and I was asking one of the people we support for the can opener, and he handed me this funky device, automatic can opener. I was just looking for the old school crank opener. So he coached me on how to use this can opener and how to be safe while I was using it, and how to wash the can before I put it in the recycling, and to be sure to turn the stove off when I was done. And I thought in that moment, how cool is it for us to be coached? And how cool is it that this individual that we support probably was coached by someone else in order for him to teach us. So it was a reflective moment of the collaboration that's involved in coaching and how all of us support each other. So just kind of a cool story.
yeah, I love that, Adam and Prem. Thanks for sharing. I think it really touches on a couple of those things that you remember about being a coach, is that like you don't have to have all the answers all the time. You can just be a resource to people. And I think there's probably a lot of people present here that have heard me say, like, I don't know if I know the answer to that, but I'll get back to you. Right. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to be vulnerable and not have to be the expert in everything. That's why we have such a good big team that we can lean into each other all the time. I see Alexandra has her hand up.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Sorry, this is very weird to hear my voice on the big TV and yeah, sorry. So I just wanted to say that I think the emphasis on coaching from an organizational standpoint really shows how the organizational culture values people as a resource more than any other organization I've been employed with. Just for a bit of context, I've come from a background of long-term care, which is very corporate and very bottom line focused. And the emphasis that we place here at Connect on coaching really reinforces that we value our people more than really any experience I've had working in 7 years in recreation, from nonprofit to private. Yeah, it really shows the cultural emphasis on people. That's all I wanted to say. Bye.
Thanks, Alexandra. It's good to see you at the back of the room there, and it was nice to see your face close up. You're on the screen twice here.
Sorry, that was a very confusing experience for us. To balance it between both.
That's awesome. But it's not always easy being a coach, right? What about that? Like Prim's kind of, yeah. What about that? What are the challenges?
I think what Jamie just raised is actually a really good point in difficulties with coaching, where you don't always have to know the answer, but being comfortable with not knowing the answer. I found that when I was kind of first starting out here, I felt a weird sort of obligation to needing to have the answers to everything I was being asked or supporting with in the moment. But it's taken a lot of lived and practical experience to really get comfortable not knowing the answer and making sure the person that you're supporting is okay with that as well. And it's all about the approach you say too, kind of like Jamie mentioned about, I don't actually know the answer to that, but I'll get back to you. So it's showing that you have the buy-in to find that answer for the individual, and also just to not be, I guess, leading every conversation, like telling them the way that it is, instead of actually doing the work and supporting them to find the answer alongside you.
So questions like, how can I help? What is it you need? Yeah. It's tricky, right? It kind of creates discomfort being in that sort of gray space of, I'm not the expert here. You're the expert of you and your life. I'm just seeing a couple of things in the chat here. Can you believe I'm the one doing this? But there are a couple of comments here, and I'm wondering if that person would speak. I know I'm being a coach when I witness people's humanity as well as my own. I know I'm being a coach when I'm hearing from people's stories. Is that coaching is about relationship? What about that? Some powerful stuff. So much wisdom out there.
Is Jamie out there? Does she want to comment on?
Are you there, Jamie? Can we ask you?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I really love hearing people's stories and the direct experiences that we have. And it really just resonated with me about the relationships that we have with ourselves when we approach these situations and when we approach others, and the values that we have in our relationship with ourselves, and how those ripple out to create the relationships with others, and how much we actually get back from that. When I was listening to Joe speak about his experiences, it was really about having a space where he could be himself, his authentic self, and invite that authenticity that ripples back to him. And so we all get to grow from that. And then when Alexandra was speaking, I really just heard about relationship, that previous workspaces can be about bottom lines or finances or policies, and how much we all grow, and in that space of possibility and in that space of relationship. So that's that's what resonated for me. I learn a lot from hearing people's experiences. So thanks for sharing, Joe and Alexandra.
And thank you, Jamie. Thank you for letting us put you on the spot.
And I think like I went right back to the top of the chat as well to see like, and Kim let us know ahead of time that she's going to be sharing information from the room, not just from herself. So we know it's coming from all the folks at Lake Country, but the idea of like bringing out the best in others and inspiring others, and then when you go through all these comments, like some of the things that the commonalities that come into all these comments is really about what Connect is about. We've talked about the person being in charge and driving the bus, and we're there to do with people, not for people, but it really is just about being present and being curious and asking questions. And that's where it's the coaching idea is really a part of our culture. It's a part of who we are every day and how we operate. It's that we're a coach first so we can get to know people, and that's where the journey starts. Who else?
Jessica.
Hi. I'd also like to add that I think for most location, it's like that to work as a team and to be able to lean in each other's strengths and also, not see each other's weaknesses as a flaw, but more of like, okay, this is your strength, so I'm going to lean into this, and this is my strength, and you can lean into me for this. It's not just our roles are not boxes. It's really who we are as a human and what we can bring to the table for the people that we support.
Yes, and that strength-based approach that we use with each other and with the people we support. You always lean into your strengths because we all have something to offer and something valuable to provide. Right. Oh,
Juliet.
yes.
Hi, me again. I also saw M is up there, one of our wonderful newer life redesign coaches as well. And I just thought curiosity, and time, because she's working with, this is what I haven't told M that I've heard this, but she's working with someone who's been with us a long time, recently used to be involved in some winter sports. That stopped because of some things going on with the sports availability, and then has moved a couple of times. And I heard that she was looking up some, I think maybe like skiing or adaptive skiing or something like that for this person. And it just made my heart sing because I thought that took curiosity, that took like listening to the person, that took looking at their life redesign plan, maybe from some of the things that were said in it, and some of the goals around outdoor adventures. And I just thought it's that if you don't have curiosity, if you're just like working in a rehab facility and you just do your job and you don't have that curiosity about who is this person, what are they all about, and want to hear their stories, like Jamie had mentioned, like hearing the story, and that you don't get to that point. So that to me is being a coach, is like moving another step in it and thinking, like we've all said, not just coming to the role, bringing yourself and your strengths, but listening and finding out and being really curious about people. So thank you, Em.
Alyssa.
I'm just going to point out a question that Adam posted at the beginning, and it's coming from Hamilton. So I guess it's for Karen and Jamie, but anyone.
I think it's for everyone.
How do we coach residents who have limited insight or who may not be aware of areas where they could use coaching? And secondly, how can we motivate and encourage residents who say no when asked to engage in life redesign?
Yeah, and this is why I love that there's so many people here. Then, like I said, I'll be open, vulnerable. Like I may not have the best answer to this question because I don't do it every single day. I have an answer, but I'll reserve my answer till later. I want to throw it out there to the much more experienced life redesign coaches we have. How would you handle this situation? It's got to be somebody.
I'll hop in there.
All right.
I think that most of the time it starts with communication, trying to just break down the communication barrier, trying to actually like find common ground. If they say no to something, switch the conversation, try to find something that they can agree with. They'll be a little bit more willing to circle back around and maybe recover the topic afterwards. That's something I've found that actually helps when people are not so much combative, but just kind of want to stand their ground, just try to take their focus away from something that could potentially be, you know, a problem, and then circle back around to it. That usually works once you've explained to them as well what's actually going on. Most of the time, they realize that you're just there to help. Tell them that you're there to help. It goes a long way. It really does.
Jamie.
Thanks.
One of the things that I've tried before is if someone's getting very like kind of like positional about something, I'll ask them, like, has there ever been a situation where you've dealt with a difficulty before? Because usually they're positional because, you know, they're trying to save face, or they're not ready, or they don't feel like they perhaps have the resources or the skills to do something that's in front of them. Like they're scared or angry. And so I'll ask them, has there ever, like, if it's something like, say, they're having a relationship difficulty, like, have you ever had a relationship difficulty before where, and then they say, well, yeah, of course I have. I'm like, how did you handle it before? And then they come up with like, then they start to remember about how they've actually handled a similar situation. So we can use that as a stepping stone. Okay, would you be able to use that here? Or if they say, oh, and it didn't work out, I'm like, okay, then like that's a good learning. So what could we do differently here? And sometimes that opens up a little bit of space where they feel like they have the confidence and the skills within themselves to be able to confront or work with whatever is happening in front of them. So, and I use it for myself too. So I'm like, okay, if something's difficult coming up for myself, I'm like, when have I dealt with something similar to this? And what did I use that helped me to get myself through it? And what can I do? What can I use again and also grow from it? And it's not instant either. Sometimes it takes a couple conversations.
Beautiful. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Joe. Primrose.
Yeah, just really quick, we have something that we initiated here in Hamilton called the Coaching All-Stars, and it's basically boxes that are in each of the homes where people are able to fill out a nomination form to nominate someone that they've seen do some really cool coaching and coaching moments. So, you know, to answer the question of these difficult times of coaching, I want to use the nomination that was done for an individual here in Hamilton, and some of the language that I highlighted was develop strong rapport. And then it goes on to say, this has given this person the relationship necessary to make it easier to support residents. So, you know, to echo Jamie and Joe, you know, it takes time, but being present and forming that rapport and relationship, it's a little easier in those difficult moments when you form that. So.
Yeah, I like that too. And thank you for everyone for sharing. It's I think to add in a little bit just to follow up with Jamie and Joe and Adam. When we're looking at kind of this question as if someone has some limited insight or if they're not motivated, I think that's where we always just take that step back, and you guys have said it already as well. You focus on just the relationship with the person. Maybe it's not that they don't have insight, maybe they just haven't gotten there with you yet and you haven't built that relationship where they can open up to you. So take that one step back, and I know we've said this early days in Hamilton, and I've heard it in every location too. Like, if all else fails, focus on joy. It's one of our core values. So if people say they don't want to engage in life redesign, like, ask ourselves, what does that mean to that person? Because life redesign can be anything and it's different for every person. if we were to ask 10 people what life redesign means to them, we'll get 10 different answers. So when in doubt, help them have a great day and help them find joy in their life. And maybe that'll help move them forward. And at the very least, it helps build their relationship. And so Alexandra has her hand up again. Thank you.
Hi, I believe my colleague Nikki actually has something to share here.
Excellent.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Nikki.
I just wanted to mention about one of the values that we have is kindness. We have to show kindness to the people we support and fellow coach. And at the same time, if we are a lot of things that we were able to achieve, we need to be kind to ourselves as well. That is there anything that we weren't able to achieve? That's totally fine. We don't need to pressure or force ourselves to do and achieve those goals because there's always perfect timing to achieve those. And it will take a lot of patience and understanding. We just have to make sure that we collaborate and reach out to other people as well. And if there's anything that we want to achieve, like say, for example, let's start with a conversation. What are the things that the people we support interest the most? Like they like to watch movie or something. Maybe we can start doing that. And that moving forward, we can get their attention and find their like, oh, you will be surprised that you will like this one. So it's about discovering and a little bit of patience and understanding that it will take some time and be kind to ourselves as well. Thank you.
I would also like to add to what both of the Jamies have said in terms of consistency and things not necessarily happening immediately or overnight. In my experience, there have been people that in my role as play coach have been so excited as soon as I'm here, they give me a laundry list of places they want to go and things they want to do. And then I've had people that don't necessarily want, me personally to take them out. They'd prefer someone else they have an established relationship with. So it really is about relationship building, about consistency, and about showing up. There are certain people that like I've supported in previous work and I've supported here that might not have had great experiences in healthcare systems and you aren't as quick to be trusting, right? But it's really just about putting in the time to getting to know people on a personal level and building that relationship, and that will help life redesign happen. Because some people aren't ready for it, and if that is their choice, we also need to respect that.
Thanks, Alexandra. I'm not sure whose name went up next. Whose hand I should say. Jessica?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most of you have nailed it. I just like to add that in our role, we have the ability to not treat people as a task and really take some time to just say hi and connect with them. And everybody's personality is different, and we have to respect that some are introverts and some, like to be surrounded by 1,000 people. So to really take the time to meet people where they're at and respect, what they prefer, and and to just check in, not because you have to see that person today, but just because you care about them and their humanness, and you have the chance and the space to meet them, and just to say hi and ask how they're doing, not because you have to, but just because, you're glad to be connecting with them and supporting them.
Thank you. And we have one other question out there. Is it a wall? Sorry, I didn't want to pronounce your name wrong.
Is it Victor?
Victor, yes.
Oh yeah, it's actually Awili, and I work for
Awili. Nice to meet you.
for Canvey Gardens. And I think the last two speakers already covered what I was going to cover. I have had the privilege of working in an apartment where we have to say, but like they have different behaviors, and sometimes they do clash. And sometimes I tell I tell my coworkers, I'm like, why don't you just be patient and observe what your clients or your residents like? And I've been able to bond with a lot of them. Yes, we've had bad times. Is we ended up becoming like we um act like siblings. Sometimes he's not in a good mood and he doesn't want to talk to me. And I just turn it into a joke and then we all start laughing. Or when he doesn't want to have showers and I'm like playing music in the background and I'm dancing and he's like, Dawn, you like to dance? And I'm like, yes, I do love dancing. And he's like, I like to dance with you. And I'm like, yeah, sure. When we have a party, I'll probably show up and we'll all dance. And he's like, Dawn, let's play music. I'm like, yes. One resident, every time I'm doing his care, to play music because it's not complete without playing music. Like he's like, oh, what type of music? I even introduced him to, I'm Nigerian, and I introduced him to Afro beats. Like that's a Nigerian kind of and then he's like, what type of music is this? I'm like, it's Nigerian music. Now you have to shake your body more in order to go with the beat because you're dancing off beat right now. And sometimes recently he had an incident and he was down for a couple of days and I observed this and I was like, what's wrong? And he just went on and on. And I was like, okay, so you know what's going to happen? We're just going to dance our feeling away. And even though we obviously don't know how to dance, the both of us, but we were just like shaking and then dancing to Taylor Swift at one point. And I think with that, I was able to bond with him a couple of times. Yes, sometimes he doesn't want to bond with me. He's like, John, I don't want to talk right now, or he's pissed, he's not responding. But I just observe and just, I'll say patience and observation also works hand in hand half of the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Awili. That's beautiful. And you know, you're making me think back to when we were first formally conceptualizing what became the life redesign model. One of the if you will, the pillars of it, we were asked to reduce everything that we offer people down to what's special about Connect. And anyway, one of the things that we landed on was dancing in the moment. And you know, literally and figuratively, it's like that's what you're doing. Is for me, being a coach, I think first of all, it's just about holding the space for potential, for the possibility of, and then meeting that person where they're at. But then there is a lot of dancing involved, both in terms of how to support one person, as you know, compared to another person, or a situation to another person, but that bringing of yourself and the whole of who you are and bringing your humbleness and your humanity to that. I mean, I'm hearing it echoed through everything that you're all saying, and recognizing that that is not easy. And you know, I wanted to say as well that for me, motivation comes from within. It's not something we can do to people, but it's something that we can help them find if we have the time and the patience and the curiosity. And that means being in that space with them. So thinking about that, and yes, again, one of those original pillars was about being a beacon. It was about holding the light for somebody when maybe they've lost their way or they have yet to even find their way. And I think the last thing I want to say, I know because I'm an OT, I want to touch on insight, but I think that's just about meeting the person where they're at. But I do want to say that, you know, life redesign isn't a thing we stop and start doing. It's just part of what we're doing every minute of the day, both in our own lives and in supporting people as they're journeying to figure out their lives after whatever has been going on for them, and what's brought us into their lives, if you will, for this period of time. And so whether you are in the shower or in the washroom, I always remember somebody saying to me, you know, the impact of a moment when you're in the washroom with somebody in what is perhaps the most intimate space in their life, right? Not something you typically share with other people. It can happen at any time and in any way. And I don't know, it's just about being there with them. So please don't think of it as someone mentioned about it's not task. It isn't about tasks. There are things that need to be done. But you know, we all get up, we all get washed, we all get dressed, but it's the being, it's the how you're being while you're supporting. That's what really matters. Sylvia, the Hamilton group there.
Hey guys, I'm Brandon. I am a resident here in Hamilton, and I didn't want to sort of motivated because I work that I use this. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, the sound quality is very poor.
A bit closer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So yeah, I'm a resident here in Connect Hamilton, and I just wanted to say that on this call here, I'm very thankful and very grateful to be part of this call. Thank you all for accepting residents for me to be here. And I just wanted to say that I'm very thankful to gain some insight and further my knowledge on GBIs and how to handle and support folks such as myself to better support them and such. And I'm just really happy and grateful to be a part of this. So thank you all for allowing the residents to join up. And I'm really happy to be here because I've been in hospital for like 3 years, and then I got to connect here in Perham and Adam. We've been great, and I got all the coaches' team here, and we're really pushing me along where I can get learn to walk again and such. And here being here, that's a great place because I was in the hospital a long time. I was.
Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you for saying that. And thank you for being here and for giving your time to be here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, talking of time.
Yeah, I hate to like cut this conversation short, but we're like a little bit over and we're free to keep chatting, but we know we said half an hour. And so if you want to hang out and chat, we'll hang out and chat. But just wanted to, I was reviewing all the comments in the chat again, and the insight is incredible. Thank you for everyone who participated in that. There's great ideas, great suggestions for even future sessions. So we are going to be using this information and bringing it back and sharing it in some way or form with everybody who isn't here as well. So yeah, the idea of the amount we can learn from the collective wisdom of our group together is really incredible. So thank you all for being here and participating. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you all very much. And, you know, we really hope that you'll keep the conversation going, whether you stay here right now or throughout the weeks. And otherwise, we'll see you again in probably a month. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks for being here, everyone.